Check, check, check. Let's make sure the audio is working. How do I... Sorry, everyone watching after the fact. It always takes me a minute to get set up here. Pop out chat. Perfect. And how do I... There we go. View on watch page. Great audio. All right. Here's my... Almost there. Ha. So fast. Nice. I'll see. Make sure someone can hear me. Nice. Can you hear me, Max? Yeah, that Max. Cool. All right, let's get going. So, yeah. I guess I'll show you what I've done so far, and then we can go from there. So, start the server locally. I know last time someone requested I made my font bigger, so I'm going to do that on all my screens. 18. Let's see how that looks. That is large. All right. Cool. So now we can do... Jeez. Great. My LG 5K display is out for repair still. Should come tomorrow though, so that's exciting. Font here. Hopefully 18's okay. All right. Yeah, good. All right. So run the app. It's a live stream, so it's not very exciting. It's not like edited to the good parts. It's all the in between. Hopefully some of that's interesting. Cool. So I guess we can just open up Safari and do it that way. Oh yeah, there's design now. I don't know if that's been in the stream. So this is the home page. Obviously needs some design love. You can sign in, and this is a little nicer. I took some time to make sure this is like the proper type for iOS and works the way you'd expect. Anyway, obviously this needs design. This will probably be a grid of thumbnails or something down the road. This one doesn't have anything, but I can draw in it. And you can change colors now, so that's cool. Woo. All of my drawings are usually just random noise. That is not good. Why is that happening? Huh. I have an idea. Let's, huh. So it could be one of two things. It could be I'm not setting the fill, and that's why this is happening. Also, maybe I should just set the fill to clear so you don't get this weird diagonal. I'm going to try changing the fill, and we'll see what that does. It may be... Yeah, because I'm definitely only sending a path. So there shouldn't be a fill, but maybe there is. I'm going to do it in web because I think it'll be a little faster to verify this. Cool. This is in layer. And here, I think I just need to do fill equals transparent. Let's see what that does. Yep. Okay. Great. Well, now my drawing's even smoother. Fantastic. Thanks, colors. So I need to do this in iOS as well, which is not a big deal. Layer. So. Jeez. For some reason, I can't type with a microphone in front of my face. And then we need to also do that when we draw it, which should be in draw view. Let's make this full screen. Yeah, so when I create the layer, this could use a little bit of drying up because I get so many wrong numbers. It's stupid. Yeah, this file's a little crazy. Also, the bigger font's making me have a hard time finding things, which is a terrible excuse. Where do I do it? Okay. Well, it's going to be a presentation layer. Let's just figure it out. That's where I set the stroke color. Here's what I did. All right. Ideally, this would only be one spot, but whatever. And I only need to do this once because it doesn't change. So here's where I create it if it doesn't exist, and here's where I update it if it does exist. And then here I just change the properties if any of them change. So say someone remotely changed their color, that would still work, which currently isn't supported with the client, but the client can draw it. You just can't render that. But the API supports it. Cool. This is why I never full screen Xcode. Yep. So perfect, and we got it over here. Great. Fixed a bug. How about that? Jeez. That's probably still not right. I'm alright with it. Deploying. Cool. I added a thing yesterday. I'm overly proud of this. When you dim the UI because you present a modal or something like this, it dims the drawing too, which I think is really cool. And it dims this too it's probably hard to see, but yeah. Anyway, I thought that was really cool. I'm a big fan of this. I spent way too much time making this dim in Canvas, all the links and stuff. Yeah, but I think it's cool. So all of this is just done with tint color, at least for this control. So the whole thing dims. And then this is all just updated when the tint color changes because these are all drawn with CA layers. So I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Calvin, I would recommend teamtreehouse.com, and that seems like a good suggestion as well. I'll check this from time to time, not super often because I'm trying to work. But if you want to post a question or want me to talk about something more, please do. All right, so fix that bug. that's good to know. Let's see what else is on my list. Oh, I should write that. I always update my release notes as I go, because as this starts to get a few things, it makes me really want to like put out a release, which I think is good. Sometimes I'll also do like fix the last thing or whatever, like obviously what it is. So then it's like a last little like I have to do these 3 things. Like doesn't matter where I'm tracking my to-dos or have GitHub issues or anything like that. It's just like I have to do these 3 things before I can ship. That really motivates me. So big fan of that system. I've been doing that since like Cheddar years ago. What else? To do, yes. Jeez. So a lot of stuff left. This is also like not including design, which obviously needs a lot of work. But I'm kind of saving all that to the end, because I may do like a really quick pass on design, and then put it out, and then work on it a bunch if people like it. And if no one likes it, then I don't want to waste my time on design. So I could work on the eraser. I feel like I need color picker animation. I consider that as part of the design, but this is just pretty crappy. Wouldn't be too hard to do, but it's also, it works now, so I want to work on something else that needs to be done, but I don't want to ship it like this because it just seems, there's like no UI on the screen. I want the one control to be kind of delightful. Yeah. So a friend suggested that I make this a modal because this is weird with the X, and I kind of agree, so I'm going to do that. So let's do that. That is going to be in boards view controller, and there's going to be a show board hit select. Yep. So instead of doing show, I can just do present. View controller true. I almost wrote yes and then changed my mind, I guess. That's fine. Cool. So let's run that. Did it run? That's kind of weird. Oh, I know why. Okay, let's just tweak a few more things and see how it feels. So, close. And then in boards, and so like a view will disappear. That seems fine. I think in here will appear. Yeah, don't need to do that stuff anymore. Still does it. Oh, it's because this has no status bar and that animates all weird. That's annoying. You'd think that because this is animated, it would animate that change, but it doesn't. That's pretty annoying. I do like this better, the modal, but I think what I'll need to do is like some custom transition down the road, which is what I'd kind of planned to do. But since this is like even more jarring, I think I'm just gonna leave it the way it was. For now. Okay. I wanted to work on a confirm for delete. Right now it just deletes it and doesn't confirm. So let's add that real quick. I think because I'm on the stream, I'm more like, let's just knock out all the small things because I guess I'm hesitant to start a big thing. Unless anyone has a suggestion. Nope. Hey, Victor. Hey, Mark. I got a text. Oh, man. Oh, that's a good. My friend Caleb Davenport recommended that I snapshot the UI before I present the modal. Thanks, Caleb. That would work, and I'll probably need to do that anyway for the transition I have in mind. I'm kind of thinking I can just draw it because I have a thing for this. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to do this on my iPad because I'm bad at drawing with a mouse. So if we go to the live site. Nope. Sweet. And then make a new one. So I'm thinking if it looks like this, and here's the nav bar with like the little cog and the plus, like my drawing. Super good, right? This could be like a grid of drawings with like the title, whatever. And then when you select one of these, it would kind of, that's the next screen, it would kind of take this and go, like zoom the drawing up to the next screen. So it would animate into place, and then when it's done animating, it's like that's where the drawing would be, which I think would be cool. So if I do that, I'll need a snapshot anyway, I think. So that's the plan. We're going to do that. Cool. Thanks, Caleb. Oh, it's still the broken one. All right. I really need to clean up all this real-time stuff, but I will do that later. Great. Okay. So I'd like to do this in a presentation controller, but I don't want to spend like 8 hours figuring out that API. But I really do want to do it in a presentation controller. So maybe I'll do that. I'd also like to, I'm going to add this to the list. Live update board creation. So if you create a new board on your iPad, it should show up immediately on the web, which isn't hard. I just haven't hooked up. Oh, I already have a thing for this. Okay. I think that'd be great. Cool. Any more? I wish there was like a better way. Not that one. To I picked the same one. Jeez. To get notified. Will it have stories? Fantastic. I love that was on The Verge yesterday. It's so funny. Rafa was just like tweeting, and then like The Verge picked it up. Hilarious. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's. All right. Let's do a presentation controller. This is gonna be a lot of me just reading the documentation because everything is terrible. I like my 3 tabs in Dash here. I have like Apple documentation, Rails, and SVG documentation, which I use a decent amount as this whole project's like SVG backed. I'm going to show that off real quick because I'm really proud of it, and I'm procrastinating working on this thing because I don't want to do it. Yeah, so I have a layer, which is like each line you draw is a layer inside of a board. It has, has a weight, which is like how thick the pen is, which is always the same right now. There's no UI to change it, but it's totally supported everywhere. There's a color, obviously, and then a path. And the path is just a CG path, and the color is a CG color. Those get transmitted as HTML colors and SVG paths. So, for example, I'll just show you the tests. It's probably easier to see. It gets transmitted something like this, an RGBA string, and then that gets parsed and I can go both ways because the client can generate SVGs as well. Kind of no reason right now, but I feel like I'll use that soonish. And the path is fairly complicated, but it can take in a basic set of SVG commands and convert it into a CG path, and that one has a little bit not as long of a test, but it's like does a lot of stuff, and it can go both ways, because when you send it to the server, we send it as an SVG path. Same for colors, we send them as HTML colors. I say we, it's just me. The apps, I guess, me and the apps. It's a terrible band name, Sam and the apps. So, yeah, that's how that works. So, converting the path to an SVG is probably the most complicated part, which you would think would be not that hard. But you have to send like a C struct and it like enumerate, or a C function and enumerates the stuff, and it's kind of complicated. It's not too crazy though. It's just like annoying it took me a long time to figure out, but it's not that much code, I guess. Anyway, the reason I'm using my own and not some library, I've only found like a couple SVG libraries, and they were both like really big, did a lot of stuff, and I just wanted this one thing to parse a path into a CG path and nothing else. So I wrote my own because it wasn't that hard once I figured out the CG stuff. So that's how it works. And I wrote my I don't have one in Ruby yet. I probably will, because I'd like to have validation that you posted a valid path string, or eventually. Also, right now I only support a subset of path commands, which for generating is fine because I can generate any path that you can draw in a CG path. So I have like move, line, curve, and quad curve and close, which is all you really need. There's a bunch of other ones for like relative movement, and there's some shortcuts to say a completely horizontal line or completely vertical line, and a few other ones. But I don't use any of those, and they could all be expressed in terms of this set of MLCQZ, which is a good acronym, I guess. Anyway, so that's how that works. Kind of cool. Yeah, I also used to have DrawKit and InkKit. DrawKit was just the drawing code, and I merged them because it was kind of a pain to work back and forth. Okay, enough procrastinating. Time to figure this out. So I guess what I'll do is unstash this and run it again to make sure we left it how I expect. $17. It's kind of a lot. Hey everyone. Cool. No any comments? I figure I'll check while it's building. Oh, now it's done running. So I get for playing around. Okay. So cool. So what we'll do is we'll take a screenshot and we'll just put it on top of this view controller while it's presenting. And then once we get that working, we'll move it into a presentation controller, unless I really want to avoid that. So I'll just commit before we get going, switch to modal. Because I have a feeling I'm about to do some crazy things. I might want to revert, so I want to keep this where I left it. View will disappear. Seems like a good spot. I'll do it before I hide intercom. In production, I have a little intercom widget in the bottom right, so you can send feedback. No one's done that yet, which is kind of sad, but eventually, maybe. Cool. So snapshot equals view snapshots false. So I'll just make a new property here. And snapshot. I'll do it at the end, I guess. So basically I'm going to add this as a subview. snapshot. And then lay it out. I'll just use regular layout because this does not matter. Snapshot frame equals view.bounds. This is actually going to make the status bar disappear because you don't snapshot that, but it should be okay. And I actually want to snapshot the navigation controller's view and add it to the navigation controller. This is being annoying. I could snapshot the root view controller, but that's gonna be annoying because this is gonna be on top. So I'll just do this, and we can say okay, and then in view will appear. I feel bad doing watch me do this really hacky thing on the live stream. I feel like I should be doing set a better example, you know? All right, snapshot view. Before we delete it, I'll just remove from super view. It's being well set. Okay, let's show that. Nope. Okay. Let's remove hiding it and set a breakpoint and make sure it works. The fans of my computer going nuts. Streaming always is intense. Okay, so that worked. Why is that happening? I need to do it before. I need to do this earlier. So I'll just do it hackily down here. And clean this up once it works. That sort of works. Okay, let's turn this back on. Try again. It's weird to me that when it launches, the status bar isn't there right away. I need to figure that out. Have you seen that? I don't know why that's happening. That wasn't so bad. The status bar hides right away, which is unfortunate. I wonder how I can animate that. I looked at my phone to see if Caleb texted me the answer. I can dream. All right. This is actually pretty okay. It bothers me that this animates out, but at least the whole view doesn't jump. Yeah, that actually works pretty well. I'd like to move all of this into a transition controller, like I said, but I think I'm gonna save that until I do the interactive, scale animation, because I really don't want to work on that right now, because it's gonna be really tedious, and it's I don't know. I feel bad just sitting here reading documentation, so I'm gonna do this, and we're good to go. Snapshot before modal. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. This drives me nuts. Show board. Make a new private function over here. And at least encapsulate it in case I show board somewhere else. Because, yep. I'll add a comment. I feel much less ashamed of leaving it like this instead of leaving it like it was. Let's see how that works. Looks great. All right. Let's clean these up. Don't look at that. Okay. Cool. Like the new icon? I like the new icon. Michael did a super good job on it. All right. I guess we can do. This is like not nearly as productive as I'd hoped. Let's do delete confirm because that needs to get done. So I know how to do it the quick way. I guess we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. All right. So I need to store like which one I'm about to delete, and then if they confirm, then I will delete that one. I feel bad storing it like that, but you know, whatever. All right. I guess I could do this before I call destroy. What do I call destroy? Oh, I should just find the index instead. Board is not equatable, apparently. Yep. Not a big deal. So I'm just going to compare the ID, which is plenty for my purposes. Okay, so that should work now. Thank you, Swiftlint. Okay. I guess I'll store this as a variable. And then over here, we can do like that. Cool. So basically, I'm optimistically removing it and then add it back if it fails. So it looks like it's faster, which will, almost always work. So where do I call this method? We need to wrap this in a thing. Okay. So board to delete equals board. And now we can do should this be a action sheet? I think it should be an action sheet. Yeah, this will work. Action sheet, add action, UI alert, action. So this is we're going to self destroy. I could just do board here. I don't need to store this in a variable, and I feel much better about that. Fantastic. Okay. Where'd that go? Then here, oops, this is called destructive. Great. And then here we can do action sheet, add action. Do I already have a extension for this? I don't. That's all right. I like to make a extension called cancel, and that just does that to save some time. So now I need to present this around the view so it works on iPad. Action sheet. can never remember the name of this thing. This is also... Is it in here? Ugh. Nope. There we go. And it's called Pop Over Presentation Controller. Can never remember that. All right. Where is the... There it is. Bam. So that should present around the row. Now we can do present, action, sheet, animated, and that should be that. So, cool. Why is this all nested? Oh, because it's in a thing. That's kind of annoying. Whatever. All right. I'll have to test this separately in a second. Nope. Sweet. I like that. Let's test an iPad. Oops. I'm very anti simulators you don't use because I always have a silly amount. I only use a few of them. Thanks, Victor. He made a really good one as well. It's on Dribble. All right. Oh, I updated this screen a little bit. Just added this. I need to fix this on iPad, so I'll add a note. Thanks. I read this earlier. I didn't say anything, but I read say something as like a comment, and I was like, I am saying stuff. Like, come on, people. It's just dumb. All right. That should be cool. Why don't we make it all the way to the right? Because this looks bad, I think. I don't know. iPad's so awkward. Still, it's fine for now. It's always, I guess when you hit cancel, we want to animate this shut. I'm not sure how to do that, though. Let's find out. We could just animate it shut right away. No, I think having it there helps you visually see which row you're trying to delete. Is there a way to end editing for a cell? Set editing. I wonder if I just call set editing false. I don't think that's it. I don't think editing. I think edit, that's a different state. But let's try it. Oh, I could just do table view. I don't need week self, I guess. I'll still do it weekly because that would create a routine cycle. Set editing false. True. Let's try that. Ha! Well, I'm a fan of that. I think that works out quite well. I wish the animation was faster, but whatever. Okay. Cool. Well, delete confirm. Done. Nope. Gosh. I normally hate having more than one monitor, but this would be a really good use for it. Cool. So I'd like to do sign up and forgot your password in the app at some point, but do I have forgot your password on here? I don't. But not important right now because it totally works via the web, and that's fine. For rename, I was thinking of putting some, go back to iPhone, putting some, like an ellipsis in the top of the document, board, whatever, editor, screen, and have like some board settings there so you could change the name and eventually you'll be able to configure permissions and stuff like that for collaboration. But for now, it would just be edit the name. So like put some dots right there was the thought. I'm going to figure out why this thing isn't launching correctly. I have an idea. I think it's probably right here. Yep, I bet that's it. There we go. All right. I'm going to fix that. My prototype was just like the editor full screen with no other stuff, so I bet that's why it's still there. Let's go ahead and make a launch screen while we're here. I'll just make a really quick one just because it's been bugging me. Navigation control, navigation bar. Yep. Put that right there. And just set up some constraints. Nope, that's not what I want. It's so frustrating in IB because I don't want the margin, and I don't think there's a way to change that. Oh. Yeah. Fantastic. Trailing space, and then how do I do the, there we go. And then again, I don't want the layout guide, I want the actual view. I don't think this is going to work. Let's try it. Close. How do I make this extra tall? Can I do it here? Status bar. Default. Does that make it taller? Nope, of course not. I'll just set it on itself, I guess. Seems like a hack, but whatever. I don't know. IB's the worst. Oh, I guess I should move title. I didn't think that was going to stay. Yay, launch screen. All right. Done. I'll call it complete. When I do the design, I'll have to change it, but that'll be part of that task. All right. This is sort of done. I'd say this is done. It just needs like connectivity stuff, which is a separate task. So cool. Let's figure this out real quick. I think. It's so frustrating that auto layout is so difficult in table view. I'm not gonna work on it right now. There's more important things. So I'm not going to delete layers anymore. I'm just gonna have eraser, which I should work on. Share works. I just want to update the links and stuff for Twitter and Facebook. Excuse me, whatever else. Make sure it works in Slack, that sort of thing. Cool. Change thickness. I have an idea for how to do that, but I don't know if I will. I was thinking I could force touch the color picker and have it like you could drag a slider. And if you don't have force touch, then sorry, because it's not like that important of a thing. Was kind of the thought. That said, if one of your coworkers has a 6S or higher and you don't, it'd be really frustrating that they could write huge and you couldn't. So maybe I won't do that. I don't know. I just need like a simple loading state and a simple empty state. Oops. With probably some cool animation or illustrations, which I'll work on at some point. So I'm gonna make a thing of like future. Cool. I already have 3D touch, so that's cool. Crash reporting, SSL pinning. Yep. So these will be pretty easy. It would be pretty easy for me to generate an image locally because it's all CG. So like core graphics is what I mean by CG. So that'd be pretty easy to do and save out in like any format because I have all the information. I was thinking I would do it on the server so you could link to it and stuff, but there's really no reason I can't do it locally, and that would be faster, especially if like you're offline, it would still work. So maybe I'll do create an image from a document or a board. I used to call them canvases, and I felt bad because I used to work at Canvas, and it was confusing. And I want to have Canvas integration at some point, so that would be silly to have a canvas and a canvas. So I call them documents, and that felt like too technical, so now I'm calling them boards because they're like whiteboards, but I still change the names a lot. Let's see, pan around. That's going to be really important and probably difficult and hard to test because I can't do it on the simulator. I'm tempted to not even have names for the first iteration, just for simplicity, and I'm going to do that. Decision made. No more names. Bam. Because then I don't need that whole control, which is great. I need to show lock UI, show lock if you can't edit, and also don't let you edit, which should be easy enough. Maybe I'll work on that next. Forgot sign up. What else? There's a bunch of web stuff I need to do. Don't need to rename though, so that's nice. API is almost done. The document thumbnail is going to take some time. I need to figure out how to crop to the document where you've drawn, which will be challenging with some sort of like minimum size. So if you draw like a line, it doesn't like just have a big black bar. I have an idea on how to do that. It would be pretty easy to parse the SVG path and figure out the bounds that that path is in. But I don't know of a good place to store that. I could store it on the layer, but then whenever you need to get a document rendered, I guess you have to load all the layers anyway, so that would be fine. I don't even have to store it. I could calculate it. It wouldn't be that intense. It might be kind of intense. If you have a bunch of really long lines, that could take some time. I mean, not like a crazy amount of time, but I don't want to do it. If you're like mashing the button to share it a bunch of times, I don't want to do that. Well, no, I will need this like, so frustrating. Because I'll need the thumbnails like everywhere. I don't want to go recalculate these like constantly. I'd rather like generate them and store them and then like clean them every so often. So I think what I'll do is have it do some annoying Sidekick stuff to have it like run every so often. Any document that's changed in the last like in seconds, then recalculate their thumbnail. We had a similar problem at Canvas with server stuff, and it was always like this was always kind of a pain, and like we get out of sync, and they would like this was like a constant battle of like this feature being unreliable. Not because like they did a bad job, it was just it's a hard problem. So the problem being like calculating some summary of a or like derived piece of information from an object that could be changing pretty frequently, but only doing it when needed because it could be expensive to calculate. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. There's a few places I use the actual ID instead of the slug, which everywhere I want to use the slug as the ID for consistency. So in the API now I don't even give you the slug, it's just the ID. The slug is the ID, and like it's only ever referenced as ID. Just for simplicity. I definitely want to have an open source or an open API very soon after launch, if not at launch. I actually already started on the documentation website, which I made a while back in one of the streams. I ended up deleting it because things were changing, and I want to do it based off a different method. So I'm going to come back to that, though. Should be like a day of work. Cool. Well, I think I need the crop stuff here too. That's what's annoying. I don't know. Well, this is good. Talking through my list. Thanks for listening. I think what I'm going to do is go eat some breakfast, lunch, brunch, I guess. It's not brunch if it's by yourself, though. I mean, come on. And then probably work on the thumbnail stuff or that custom animation, which is going to take some time and just be a lot of like flailing around, which isn't exciting to watch. So I'm going to go do that. Thanks for watching. Hopefully some of this was helpful. Yeah, I don't know. Cool. Well, I'll try to stream again either tomorrow or early next week if I'm working on something a little more interesting. I feel like everything right now is just a bunch of like annoying, tedious loose ends, and it's not really cool to watch. So, yeah. Thanks for watching.